Car YouTubers are getting out of hand. Hello and welcome back to MIA Luxury Cars. Since the beginning of YouTube, YouTubers have been making cars. However, they've recently gotten out of hand. Let's get into this topic by starting with our first YouTuber's car, Toyota RAV4. Built by none other than the legendary Steve Papadakis. Now, why would the man behind the most winning Formula Drift team in the history and some of the fastest Japanese drag racing cars of the 90s build this compact SUV? Off-roading is probably the most fun thing that you can do in a car. Unlike the insane 1,000 horsepower builds he usually does, this is just a bare-bone liter 4x4 with a manual transmission. Now, this isn't built to be the fastest truck up to the mountain, but that's okay because look how much fun this man is having and this little thing. Now, this RAV4 is easily the tamest vehicle on the list, but surprisingly, it's not the smallest. The honor goes to the Grind Hard Plumbing's 100 horsepower 4x4 power wheel. Do you know how much horsepower a regular Power Wheels has? It's 0.26 horsepower. That's a 38,000% increase over stock. It's essentially a fully custom go-kart with a motorcycle engine strapped to it. And if you're wondering how these guys are so good at building motorcycle-powered Power Wheels, it's because by built like 7 of them. One of them goes 90 miles per hour in a plastic vehicle built for a toddler. 1995 Audi S6 Wagon. Built by a dude named Joel Francisco. This thing came from a factory with a turbocharged 5-cylinder, which is a great motor. He wanted double the cylinders, so he did completely normal thing that any of us would do. He took a 5.2-liter V10 out of a 2007 Audi S8 and managed to fit it under the hood, hook up all the crap, and make all the crap work. The funny thing about this engine is that it's basically identical to the V10 used in the Lamborghini Gallardo. It's basically two of those 5-cylinder engines kissing. And to make things even more bonkers, he threw some hurricane headers on it and paired it with a 6-speed manual transmission. And he did all of this in his garage. According to Joel, it's the best sounding station wagon on the internet. R69 Skyline. Built by Chris Steinbacher. Obviously, that wouldn't be too easy for my boy Chris, and if you know anything about his builds, he likes to go pretty extreme psycho mode on them. Has been sued. His Skyline uses the entire chassis from the wrecked R35 combined with the abandoned shell of an R34. Here's the thing. Those don't just stick together like Legos taped together. Problem number 1. R35 is longer, so it had to be shortened. Problem number 2, the R34 is skinnier, so it had to be girthened up a little bit. In fact, the whole build is just a big list of problems that Chris had to figure out. And unsurprisingly did it. He figured it out because he's smart and he's got a conviction. And he doesn't give up. Now he's got a modern supercar combined with one of the coolest looking Japanese cars ever. And of course, it's midnight purple. And that's why it's got a spot on the list. Tesla Model D. Built by Rich Rebuilt. You already know that this man has an LS wrap Tesla. He got his hands on the wrecked Model 3, which has an introduced to 4BT. That's a 4-cylinder turbo diesel that you would have found in a bread truck from the 1980s. So it's not exactly a super powerful motor, but makes no sense. Again, not very easy to do, but not outside Rick's capabilities. This guy has done some insane stuff. And now, this project is very much still in progress. I can't wait to see how it turns out. S550 Mustang, aka Smokestang. Built by Westen Champlin. His Cummins-swapped S550 Mustang aka the Smokestang. Unlike Rich Rebuild's Tesla, this muscle stang ain't built for towing. It's built for rolling coal down the drag strip and doing big black and white smoky burnouts. And it does a pretty good job at both of these things. It got a 12-valve V8 with 2 spinny boys that make too much power for its own. According to Westen, and apparently it was a lot of work to get these things running correctly. Ford Mustang. An Octo-Turbski LS-swapped Ford Mustang, built by Kyle from Boosted Lifestyle. This is a car that has 8 turbos and would make Nadia Sulman proud. So, how do you even fit 8 turbos under the hood of a car that didn't even come with 1 turbo when it was born? You don't. All 8 of these turbos plus the radiator plus the 4 exhaust stacks all protrude out of the engine bay. But just look at the symmetry. It's a work of art and it sounds like art too. As all we know, the building is only half the battle. The real challenge comes with tuning. I cannot imagine the difficulty of tuning a car with the wrong engine and 8 different turbos. But that somehow did not stop Kyle from doing this anyway. 8 turbos are flashy, but it might not be the most practical way to light up a set of tires. A supercharger, on the other hand, is a great way to light up multiple set of tires. That's right, because our next car isn't even a car. It's a truck. The Chevy C10. It's a 6-wheel Chevy C10 built by Brad DeBerti and his dad. This pickup truck is powered by an LSX with a 5-liter Whipple supercharger, and this truck makes 1,000 sturdy, muscular, buff horses on pump gas. Alright, but you're probably not looking under the hood of this thing because you're probably looking at the big old bed back there, because most of it was cut to fit 2 sets of rear wheels and a power is sent to all of them. So I guess technically this is a rear-wheel drive 4-wheel drive vehicle. It also has a massive splitter, a chassis-mounted wing, and a bright red wheels to match the supercharger's ITBs. Unlike many SEMA builds that are slapped together and at the last minute, this is a well-orchestrated build that absolutely destroys tires. We got one last vehicle on the spectrum of builds. We've been all over the place. Monster Max 2. Coming in at 15 feet tall with not 1 but 2 Duramax diesel engines, we got our boy, WhistlinDiesel's Monster Max 2. Now, besides being a capybara enthusiast, Cody likes trucks. This is one heck of a truck. Let's start with the tires. They're on the bottom. It sits on the sum of the biggest agricultural tires that Goodyear has to offer. Each one weighs over 1,500 pounds. The axles together weigh about 26,000 pounds. They each have their own engine and transmission. The fuel tanks, which are shaped like missiles, weigh 500 pounds each without fuel. The whole thing comes with about 40,000 pounds. That's 15 Kia Souls. Americans will measure in anything. But the metric system. It's got 12 stocks of 55-gallon oil drum and 4 transmission coolers. And it actually looks nice. This big old truck might not be everyone's 3-liter Figo, but it definitely earns a spot at the top of our list. Now, what can you say about this topic? Do you find this video useful? Please let me know by leaving a comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channels for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you on our next video.